For conditional statements, we will use the keyword if. So likewise, this is a keyword. If you type in if, they will change the color. So you should know that you have typed in the correct keyword. So let's use the simplest example first. So let's compare a few numbers. Let's say A equals to 10 and B equals to 5. Okay, and what I want to do is that um, if A is bigger, I want to print the text that it is bigger. Okay, so I can use the if statement, if, and I use the conditional logic, which is to check that A is bigger than B. And of course, for all these things, you use the colon. Okay, then you write the statements below. So I will check if A is bigger than B. Okay, if you have learned other programming languages before, take note that you do not need to have the brackets here. You automatically check that for you. Okay, so what you do is that if A is bigger than B, what we want to do is to print out a statement saying that, okay, A is bigger than B. So definitely this is true. Let's test it out. So same thing using your Python 3. Okay, the file name, and use the tab to fill up autocomplete the file name. Okay, so here because A is bigger than B, this particular statement is printed out. Okay, let's change this to values. Let's change it to 1. So in here we can do a mental calculation. 1 is not more than B, so we know that this is a wrong statement or a false statement. Okay, so by right, this particular statement should not be run. Let's test it out. Okay, so nothing is printed out. And of course, this is not a very good example because we don't know whether we are doing this correctly. Okay, it is better that you have another statement to, to determine whether this logic is right or wrong. Okay, so other than this is true, we can also do something that when this is not true, we use the else keyword, okay, to take care of scenarios where this is a false statement. So in here, okay, if A is bigger than B, the else statement will take care of if A is not bigger than B. So let's do B is bigger than A. Okay, if A is bigger than B, I will print A is bigger than B. Okay, and if it's not, I will print B is bigger than A. Okay, at least I know that my logic is right because I take care of all the true statements and all the false statements. Let's test it out. Okay, so after I run, I know that B is bigger than A because this particular check is false. However, there may be scenarios where we have this, where A and B is equal. Okay, we can run this again. However, you can see that it is saying that B is bigger than A. But when we are checking, we know that A and B, they should be the same number. So this statement is inaccurate. However, the logic is right. So we need to modify this. Okay, we can use the else, ELIF statement. So I will check for a different scenario where A is equals to B. Okay, so this take care of this specific scenario where A equals to B. Then I can print a third one where A is equal to B. So this will take care of this special scenario here. Okay, and let's test it out. Okay, now we have the checks correctly because now it does this particular statement. Okay, so if it doesn't fulfill the A bigger than B and it doesn't fulfill the A is equals to B, okay, it will always do the third one. So there may be cases where you can write in this A is smaller than B. I can write this B is bigger than A. Okay, so the last statement will take care of things that are if A is bigger than B, and if it's not A smaller than B cases, which essentially is the A equals to B scenario. So we can do this A is equal to B. So since A equals to B, we need to make sure that it comes to the last scenario here, which is A equals to B. Let's try it out. Yes, we got the A equals to B case here. Okay, so this is where you can take care of all the different scenarios in this particular if-else statement. Of course, now we can mentally calculate the A equals to certain numbers, and we can compare A and B because we have the values here. Okay, so there may be cases where your user is the one who gives the number and you have no idea which scenario they are going to be. Okay, so you have to think of all the scenarios that are possible when you are checking. So for example, now if you remember, we had used the input statement. Okay, type in a value from 1 to 10, and remember we need to change the string because input they are all strings. Change the string into integers first, and likewise we have for B. Okay, so I have B equals to input. Okay, type in a value from 1 to 10, and B equals to integer B. So in this case, this is up to the user to key in already. So let's try it out. Now the system asks for the number. So let's give a number. Let's say 5 and 3. Okay, so to know that, okay, 5 is bigger than 3. Or let's make it more aesthetically pleasing. Okay, let's try again. So now we will test for when the B is a bigger number. So I have 1 and 5. Okay, so this is correct as well because B is bigger than A. Okay, B is 5 and A is 1. Now we have our third condition, which is the same number. So let's use 6 and 6. Okay, it takes care of the third scenario as well. So we know that our system is flawless. Okay, we take care of all the 3 different scenarios over here.